YTPC, it's Padre. Back in 2019 and 2020, Mark VV and I did a series on the Boswell English Sampler, exclusively for BRTV. I'm happy to now have that series available on YouTube, and I hope you enjoy it. Now we're singing. What the hell did I do with my pipe? Where's my pipe?
It's over there.
Man, making me work for it today. All right, we are rolling.
YTPC.
Got a lighter, got a tamper, we got tobacco. No, I opened it with YTPC last time and it should have been BRTV.
Did you?
Yeah, screwed up. That's okay. Bad hair. Ready?
Sure.
Coming to you via the virtual airwaves of BRTV from the Big Easy in Louisiana, bringing you his philosophy and insight on life and all things pipe and premium tobacco related. Please welcome your host, Padre Piper.
BRTV, Padre.
And Mark VV.
Mark VV. Coming to you via the virtual airwaves of the interwebs. Saying hello. How are you? This is volume 2, video 2. Like the peace sign. We're calling it, well, Phil named it, Smoking Through the Sampler. Exclusive content for Briar Report Television. The sampler we're smoking through is from Boswell's. And in video 1, we did some countryside. Today,
Northwoods.
we're going to do Northwoods. Now, the reason we've chosen these two of the 7 to do first is because we've both had them. The next 5, and I don't know what order they'll be in, but Magnum, Titus, Imperial English, Railroad Station, and Mild English. The next 5, they'll be novel to both of us. We'll have never had them before. We both enjoyed, in video 1, Countryside. We both have had Northwoods. I'm less familiar with Northwoods. I just haven't smoked it as much. But I will say this. Bag note, which kind of made you giggle last time. You got it together now? Bag note.
Not if you remind me of it.
Is there's something going on in there that's not going on in Countryside. It's English tobaccoreviews.com, which I'm assuming they get this right off of Boswell. It says full-bodied and full flavor, a deeply complex English, but with a smooth and mild base of Latakia along with toasted Virginias. JM has blended Northwoods for himself to smoke, but then the customer started asking him what he was smoking, and his answer was, have a bowl. Northwoods has become one of our most popular English blends. You know what I'm getting from this? I'm almost getting an outdoor barbecue. Now, is that just me? Am I having olfactory hallucinations?
No, I get that too. It's, as I expressed to you before, I get a lot less sweetness
Than Countryside. Yeah.
It's definitely got more upfront Latakia, less of that Oriental.
Well, go ahead and load up, and then you can tell the folks what you're smoking out of today. Oh.
Because I was shamed heavily last time.
Wow.
I now have a Missouri
You
Meerschaum.
came in here with a $5,000 pipe. My car isn't even worth $5,000.
A Missouri Meerschaum. Now, in true form, this is one of the more expensive Missouri Meershams.
It's so freaking high maintenance.
I think this is the Cobbett, the Shire
that's right.
series.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have.
Which, you know what that is correct me if I'm wrong. That's an Acorn Country Gentleman with a long
with a
Yeah.
Churchwarden-esque stem. But yes, I felt a little embarrassed last time, so I figured
you should.
I'd dial it back a bit.
As well you should. Now, I was asking you about the bag note because my sniffer's a little off. I am on, I think, the front end of, and hopefully the back end of a mild allergy attack. But the allergy's acting up a tiny little bit. And as I was telling you before we started recording, if we weren't doing this tonight, I probably would not smoke a bowl. Because I usually just don't enjoy pipes as much when you got, itchy eyes and that kind of stuff. So, having said that, I've poured a little something different in my BRTV mug. Instead of some black mud, tonight I'm enjoying some green tea, which I find very good when the allergies are acting up. You're drinking what there?
Coffee.
Bourbon.
Black bourbon coffee.
Bourbon, yeah. All right, so you've got your bowl loaded up. Tonight I'm going to be using the Savinelli saxophone. This is a Savinelli 614, and it's the Matone line. Is that how that's pronounced? Mattone. This is a wonderful pipe, and I won this from Mel Harris earlier in the year. I think maybe the end of last year.
The Garbage Man.
The Garbage Man Piper, and this is what a blessing. This pipe smokes beautifully, and it's one that I really thoroughly enjoy smoking Englishes out of. We are also, last time, video number 1 for this series, the audio suffered a little bit, and it's because, as high-tech as we are, the studios here consist of an iPhone, and the iPhone, if you're closer up to the iPhone, the microphone is good, but there's a point where it goes bad, and it picks up a lot of background noise and such. So I had to do use some software to kind of post-process it and raise the levels and such. So we're recording a second audio track tonight using this here microphone into a laptop, and I'm hoping that will improve our audio quality without picking up a lot of background noise, because although we're recording this in December, and although we allegedly have a cold front coming through tomorrow,
74 degrees.
The air condition just kicked on. Is it only 74? Because it got up to
77 earlier.
It got up to 83. We broke a record today at the airport here in New Orleans. The old record set in 2013 was 82, but we got to 83 today. December. What is today's date? We're recording
December
this on
6th.
December the 6th, Friday evening.
Balmy summer in Louisiana.
If you don't like our weather, stick around. It'll change. All right, you're going to blaze up or what? Because I like to get the room note off.
I just wanted to also explain, I'm using a very inexpensive pipe nail. I'm also using a very inexpensive Lynn's pipe lighter. I didn't want to, seem too hoity-toity.
Until you've robbed the Acolyte supply closet. And this one, I don't know how that got in there. It's one of those little barbecue-like lighters, but it's a short one. It must be like for the short kids, the Acolyte. I did that right next to the microphone, so it probably went kapow. All right, so you've got a charring light going there. I'm not picking up any room note just yet. Of course, the air conditioning is blowing that way. There it is. It smells like smoke. What are you getting on the char note?
A lot of Latakia.
A lot of Latakia?
Yep.
Okay. So it is a fuller English. Obviously, in this bunch, mild English, we would expect is going to be mild. Magnum blend sounds like it's going to be bold. Titus would sound like it's got strength to it. Railroad station, I don't know.
Chugga chugga choo choo.
An Imperial English sounds like it would be rich, but who knows? Until you try this stuff, you never really know what's going on, right?
They're all very masculine sounding.
What's in a name, right?
Yeah.
It does have a full Latakia flavor just on the
Where's
the chart. Now
where's that at? Latakia?
Latakia. It depends on where you want to put the accent on what syllable. Now, we said this in video 1, or I'd asked you this, just to clarify for the audience. You are not a huge Latakia fan. You do enjoy mild Latakia, a crossover blend, but you're not a Star of the East. You're not a pirate cake guy. You're more of a Virginia guy.
Yeah, more Virginia.
So, just a couple minutes in now to this blend. How are you doing with it? You find it to be a little bit too much English? Too much Latakia? Too much Latakia?
For my taste, sure. I would say it's a little too bold for my my palate, but
It's smooth, though.
it's very smooth. Yeah. I'll give it that.
It's smooth.
It's not bitey. It's not. Yeah, the one thing that's always bothered me about Englishes, or the fuller Englishes, is that I find the Latakia kind of dominates the flavor profile. So that's all I taste. Especially in something like this, like the countryside. There were some.
Yeah,
the
Countryside had a
Orientals,
play
you know,
going on
yeah.
there. There was a, to me, Countryside, I would have described it almost like a rope with three, what are those, sub ropes? I don't know what you
Yeah.
call those.
Yeah, I'm not
Right, and they would move kind of with each other.
Yeah.
You would get the Latakia, but you'd get that side note we talked about,
Yeah.
that kind of alcohol. But then you'd get those sort of toasty notes of the Virginias. But fourth in there, I think it plays nicely with the Latakia, was the Oriental side of it. So it's a fairly complex blend. This
Right.
is
And I found Countryside to be one of these kinds of blends where there was a lot of Latakia, but it wasn't the star player. If that makes any sense, like it wasn't at the forefront. It wasn't dominating the blend. Where with something like Northwoods, it's very much the focus of
Yeah.
of what you're doing.
which has me wondering again. Even though I've smoked this before, I don't have a lot of experience with it, so I don't really remember.
and I may have only had it once before, to be honest.
But I'm wondering if that's going to end up making this more of a unidimensional type of smoke.
I'd be curious to see how it does compare to something like Star of the East, because that's something that I have not had. Out of pure fear.
Well, I think one of the things that you can say about Star of the East, certainly Pirate Cake, those, I mean, the number one test with that is when you light your pipe around someone who is not a pipe smoker and they just don't like the room note.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to bend over for a moment just to make sure this computer is good. It went to
Just showing my hands to the camera.
screen, but yeah, it's still recording. Hopefully that'll give us a little better audio tonight. Well, I'm rather liking this, though. But I don't mind Englishes. I like a good bold English.
I'll put it this way. I put it this way. I don't dislike it. It's not something I want to put my bowl out immediately on.
Well, as we smoke through this and we give it a chance to see if what pops out at us and get a little further into the bowl, I'm going to bring up, I didn't pre-show this with you, so I'm just going to ask your opinion. It has nothing to do with pipe smoking. It has something to do with a movie I recently saw. I saw the movie Midway.
You didn't see Frozen 2?
I did not see Frozen 2. Midway, have you seen Midway?
I want to see Midway.
Midway, I enjoyed it.
That is one.
However, I was a little taken aback at the very, very end of the movie. And I don't know if it's just me. But at the very end of the movie, they go through and, this is based on real life characters, the story they're telling. And so they give you the, this guy did this guy got this award, this guy. So you learn a little bit something about them after World War II. And then at the very end of all that, a black screen comes up, and there's just some words, and it says that the movie is dedicated, and this is not an exact quote, I don't know exactly how they worded it. My paraphrase of it is, the movie is dedicated to United States sailors in the Navy, or United States military, however they want to put it, and to the Japanese military, basically. Which I found, I'm not quite sure how I feel about that.
Huh.
Now, granted, since World War II, Japan is obviously an ally of ours. Mm-hmm. But they sucker punched us and got us into World War II. I mean, they were not a nice country then. And so...
That is very interesting.
I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. I was taken aback. I did not expect to read that come up on the screen. Am I overreacting, Mark VV?
Maybe a little bit.
You think so?
No, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't.
You know...
It depends on how it was worded. I mean, was it like, thanks to the Japanese, like, good job?
No,
or?
it was the movie was dedicated to the the Americans were listed first. The American, let's just say it said, this movie is dedicated to the American military and the Japanese military. That's not the exact wording, but that was the gist of it.
Okay. I don't know. It's very unusual to have a dedication like that at the end of a movie.
Especially World War II.
Wow, about World War II.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that would be like, this might not be a perfect analogy, but, you know, at the end of Schindler's List, would we say, you know, this movie is dedicated to the memory of all those who perished and survived Nazi concentration camps, and to Nazi Germany.
And what is it, the Fourth Reich? The SS officers?
Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of... It's a little bit on the crazy side, I think. Mm-hmm. So, you know, one of the things, and I don't know if by the time this gets posted to BRTV, this is going to be a possibility. It's coming very soon, though, is comments that you'll be able to interact on BRTV.
On a live basis?
No, but when the video is posted, people can leave comments like they would on, you know, YouTube or whatever. So if this is now, if it's already kicked in, and I know Phil is working very hard to get this up very shortly, and that ability is there, I'm curious as to the audience. What are your thoughts on that? Am I making a big deal out of nothing, or, you know?
Shoot us a tweet. You can tweet us.
Yeah. Should we? What would the hashtag be where we can find them? Or they just... I'm at Padre Piper. You're at Mark VV.
No, what at MGV squared.
MGV
SQUARED. M is in Mark, G is in Gary, V is in Victor, squared at. Or that's my Twitter handle.
Yeah.
If you were to email me, it'd be at Gmail, but.
Yeah, maybe I'm making a big deal out of nothing. I don't know. It just didn't. It's not sitting well.
Commentary welcome.
Commentary welcome. I really am wrestling with it. I want to know if anybody else saw the movie and saw that and wrestled with it, or if you haven't seen the movie, you hear what I'm saying and you understand it. Because again, I'm not giving an exact quote. And I even thought, you know, as I was sitting in the theater, like, you know, if there were a way I could hit a rewind button and take a picture, you know, of the exact quote. I mean, it was just one sentence. And this movie's been dedicated to, you know, again, paraphrasing, U.S. Navy and the Japanese Navy.
Maybe it was just dedicated to all the men and women that gave their lives in this nonsensical war that was World War II on both sides.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it. I get it. I just don't know that I agree with it. And again, just hearkening back to, would we do that with Nazi Germany?
Yeah.
I don't think we should. And I don't think we should have done, even though, again, I know we're in 2019 and Japan is an ally of ours. So it's a different world today, but
it's a hefty topic.
But is it a little too heavy for this Northwoods from Boswell's? I mean, you know, some people say the pipe is a contemplative instrument.
It's at least as heavy as least. Wow, I can't talk today. It's as least as heavy as the Latakia.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. You know, our last video was a little long. Hoping we don't go that long this time. And I don't know what Phil's thoughts are on length, so we'll try and keep it a little shorter. But we're probably at a good point to offer some commentary a little further down into this bowl.
Yeah.
This continues to burn relatively cool and smooth for me. I'm having no problems with the heat of this pipe or the heat of the tobacco.
Yeah.
There's no harshness about this blend. The flavor is, I think, prototypically Latakia.
I think there's a certain percentage of Latakia in a blend that just it for me
Where that
just
becomes the thing, huh?
it becomes the thing.
I mean, yeah, this is
that only I can taste, and I can't taste anything else.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm tasting anything else. So what they say is in there is black Cavendish, which I suspect is an uncased, unflavored black Cavendish.
Yeah, probably smooth.
It's giving it that smoothness, that
Yeah.
mouthfeel, and it's cooling it. Although Latakia burns fairly cool too, and it's also got Virginia. It's a ribbon cut.
Toasted Virginia. Yeah, I guess you could say it has those toasty notes to it.
I do think this says JM blended it for himself, and I suspect he was looking for a powerhouse flavor.
Yes,
and,
he was.
and you can get that from this.
I would think that's exactly
And
what I would think.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think this is probably a little smoother than some of the other stronger lap blends that I've made reference to today, like Star of the East in particular. Pirate Cake. Another kind of strong lap blend that I've found, and I've only had it a couple times, but I want to go back to it, is Maltese Falcon. Have you had that?
I have not. It's a GLP's blend, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I know I've seen it on the shelf many, many times and thought about picking it up, but whenever I turn the tin over, I'm like, oh, it's English. Nah.
But, so there's the boldness of this flavor, but at the same time, this is just me. I don't find that Northwoods thus far has done anything really to keep my interest.
No.
To make me go,
I would agree.
I want to keep going and get that flavor.
I find as I go down the bowl, it's more of the same, and just there's nothing interesting to play with as far as like the Orientals. There's no sweetness. It's toasty, but it's also very it's got that very bold little English Latakia profile that just.
Now, having said that, you know what I would use this for?
You blend with it. Rector's blend.
No, I could see myself. This is the kind of blend when I'm studying or I'm writing and I don't want to be distracted by the nuances of picking up on something.
Yeah.
But I want the
Kind of a
flavor.
kind
And
of
I
a-
could see myself just kind of letting the pipe dangle as I, typed on the keyboard.
Kind of a mindless blend, if you were
Yeah.
to use those words.
Not in a bad way. Not a mindless in a bad way, but something that doesn't require a whole lot of attention. I had a little problem keeping it lit at first. It could have been my packing. It also, this is right out of the bag. It's a little on the moist side.
Yeah.
I've got some jarred that I think has some age on it and probably a little bit drier. We thought about using that, but we went ahead. We wanted to keep it consistent through this series, so we took it right out of the bag.
Yeah, I've touched it up a little bit here and there, and that's just my smoking style. Really, it's not. I don't think it's a fault of the blend, but you're right. It was a little bit on the moist side, I think.
So, yeah, I don't have a problem with this blend. I'm not like, oh my goodness, I need to stock up on this blend either. And I know it's a very popular Boswell's English. I think this is probably their most popular, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm basing that on nothing factual other than, seeing
you heard.
folks talking about it in either YTPC or on Facebook in the various Facebook groups. Northwoods is a popular Boswell's blends. Countryside is also, and probably the next one that I hear about most frequently is Railroad Station, which I've never had. So I'm not sure if I've heard anybody talk about Imperial English. I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about Magnum blend.
I almost feel like we should shift gears in the next video and do mild English.
Go backwards
Go
for this
backwards.
one, huh? I think it's because you prefer a milder English.
Well, you see, I mean, like the Magnum blend, there's a lot less Latakia. Now you can visibly
The Magnum
see
blend,
that.
hold that up so they can see that, because that doesn't look like, it's not a dark blend. It's got a lot of brown.
Wait, where's the Northwoods?
Northwoods is right
Northwoods
here.
is
You can see
almost-
there's a lot of black.
A lot of black in there, and then this one,
See, that's Northwoods.
Brown, a lot of
These-
browns.
Yeah.
a lot of Virginias and probably some Orientals too. I don't know much about it, so.
Now, Railroad Station, Mild English, and Imperial English all kind of look alike.
Yeah.
I haven't opened up to smell them, and I haven't yet tried them. So I
I'm
don't
curious to know how much of this is the Black Cavendish versus the Latakia versus. I mean, there's clearly not a lot of Virginia in here.
know. No, I can't definitively pick out Virginia. Yeah, I'm sure it's doing its thing.
I would love to know the percentages on that blend.
Yeah.
So if you know or you have some insider information,
You know, what's interesting is they're calling this a ribbon cut, and you know, when you look at it, those lighter colors, which we're assuming are the Virginias, are not ribbons. Those are just little pieces of.
little chunks.
Yeah,
Maybe
they're
some
not.
bro-
They're not cube cut or anything. They're just little broken
There
pieces.
can be some burley that they don't disclose.
That's possible. That could cool it, and you might not get the nuttiness of a burley if that were the case because of the overpowering Latakia. I don't know.
You know, one thing I'm not getting out of this blend is a whole lot of nicotine.
No,
And I've chugged it pretty hard, and I don't feel much of anything.
but I mean, don't you find that to be the case with many Latakias?
Depends on what you're talking about, because if it's a GLP's blend,
You think they juice it?
they still could just steep it in nicotine. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's not a fair. You can't just across the board say that. And it may be that what I gravitate toward are Latakia blends that have a good, bold flavor to them that are low in nicotine, because I have a little bit of a sensitivity to higher nicotine.
There was a story that that John David at the Country Squire had told on Country Squire Radio once about his wife worked for a popsicle store called Deep South Pops, and one year for, I believe it was their annual Squire like tobacco night, pipe night for a couple years back, they had done a tobacco flavored popsicle.
Oh my goodness!
I remember him telling me you couldn't feel your face.
Was it actually made with some sort of juice
Yes.
from like a pressing or something? I
Yes.
mean, that's how they got the flavor.
Yes.
And so it was heavily
They had-
nicotinated, if that's a word.
So maybe there is some precedent for like a nicotine tea that you could stew your tobacco in.
Did he say that anyone actually enjoyed a tobacco flavored
They
popsicle?
said they tasted really good, except you couldn't feel your face after.
Yeah, well, you know, I would think, I mean, just kind of going down the list of possibilities for why that might be, stroke comes to mind. Good Lord.
I'm
All
sure
right.
a couple people
Well.
that might have aneurysms of some sort.
Well,
Don't do that.
don't do that. All right. So I think we're coming to a natural conclusion here for this video number 2, as we're smoking through the English samplers from Boswell's. Video 1, again, we did Countryside. Today has been Northwoods. Honestly, if I were going to pick between these two and stock up, I would
Countryside, yes.
I would stock up on Countryside. Countryside, it plays with you. You get
more
to
to-
chase
yeah.
some things and enjoy it and have fun picking it out. Northwoods is I like the flavor. It's a good, bold taste. But again, I think it would be the kind of thing if I were just sitting down at the computer typing or reading and didn't want to have to think about and still get a good, bold flavor. Just kind of let the pipe hang there. this would be a good choice for that. And on the Retro Hail, I just get Latakia. That's all I get.
So on a scale of 1 to 2, I'd rate Countryside 1
I would too.
and Northwoods
Yeah, 2
by
at this
default.
point, you know, and maybe that's what we can do is in these 7 as we go along, keep our notes. And at the moment, I'm putting Northwoods. I mean, I would put Northwoods in second place
Dead
and
last.
Countryside in
Dead last.
first. Now, as we go through, Northwoods may stay in second. You know, I don't know. We'd have to see.
I think I'm getting down the bottom of the bowl, actually.
Did you find? I'm not finding it burns particularly fast. Did you just pack light?
I was packed light.
Yeah.
Packed light and chugged hard.
Yeah, I have at times pushed it on purpose just to see what would happen. And again, like Country said, I didn't find any harshness. It didn't really heat up on you.
And to the blend's credit, though, this is just me being a poor smoker sometimes, is that you find with Latakia blends, if you do smoke them a little more aggressively, you get less flavor.
Yeah. I think that's across the board. That's particularly the case with Virginias.
But I didn't find initially when I was just sipping it that I was getting much different flavor than I am now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beefy, bold flavor. Nothing wrong with it, if that's what you're in the mood for. I just don't think it's going to be one that if you're looking for the nuances and I don't know, maybe your palate is so much more sophisticated than mine that you're going to be like, Padre has no clue what he's talking about. I would accept that. That is a perfectly good answer, trust me. All right. Well, I think it's time for us to wrap it up. Now, so this is twice that you've been on my BRTV channel. You've been on my YTPC channel. You have your own YTPC channel, yet you make no material. Nothing new anyway. Is this going to change anytime soon? Let the audience
there's a
know.
high potential. I do have a baby on the way in the next 20 days, so that will affect my my schedule. No, I'm not pregnant, but my wife is.
You know, I think that would make a wonderful YouTube live. You go into the room.
Like in the actual room?
Absolutely, while she's giving birth. She'll divorce you probably after that, but, you know, no, don't do that. But congratulations.
From
Right. Taken to the virtual airwaves of the maternity ward. But congratulations on that, and prayers for a very safe delivery and a very healthy baby and mommy and daddy and big sister. And I, you know, for your sake, I hope it does come before December 31st. I'm thinking strictly financial here, so you can get the tax break.
They're definitely inducing on the 26th.
Well, there you go.
That's
There you go. You get the tax break.
There's a benefit to there. So, like I told you before, I never say never as far as content goes. My channel is still up, so you can always go watch my prior videos. I think I checked it last night, actually. The last video I made was, I think, 11 months ago.
That's time. You got to get one in
Yeah.
for the end of the year.
So, my apologies to my legions of fans, but I'm working on it.
And then you have a presence on Twitter.
Yeah, I do post on Twitter and Instagram a little bit.
Both of those are at MGV Squared.
Yes.
Which was actually the name of your YouTube channel at one time, too.
Yes. But that's a mouthful, so I changed it to Mark VV.
Yeah, and that's what the squared is a reference to, the V squared.
MGV Squared is Mark. My last name is Van Vranken, so 2 V's.
Frickin' German.
Dutch.
Yeah, whatever. At least you didn't pick on the Canadians this time. And a shout out to Richard T., who is one of my Canadian viewers. I thought of him after you said, do you have any Canadian viewers? I think I was in the pre-show banter last time around.
Hey?
But Dr. Richard T.
Dr. Richard T.
Dr. Richard T. is a fantastic member of... I don't think he makes a whole lot of videos, kind of like you, but he's active on Twitter and Instagram and such, and he's just a heck of a nice guy.
So, in regards to our last video, sorry about that.
And before we sign off, I also want to give a shout out to my good friend from the YPTC, Sir James. Sir James is Oh, he's been having. I hope I'm not breaking confidentiality. I'll edit this out. I'll ask him first. But he's got kidney stones, and that's not fun.
No.
And so he's been on my prayer list because that's painful. So to Sir James, I do hope that you're feeling better, sir, and that you're finding all the blessings that the big chicks can bring you. That's a little inside joke with Sir James. He's a great guy. And you know what? I'm going to shave sooner or later. I'm only keeping it at scruff this time around. And it's so white these days, you can't even see the scruff on the camera probably. But he always gets on me about not shaving.
No Shave November is over.
Yeah, but I started this a long time ago, long before November. And I just kept keeping it at the scruffy homeless look. And I need a haircut. So I do. It's that time of the year where I get that homeless Padre look. Rambling at this point, I think it's time for us to sign off. This is the second edition in this 7-part series of smoking through the English Sampler from Boswell's. And for Mark VV, this is Padre wishing you and yours God's peace, grace, and blessings. 35 minutes.
We could shave off 5 minutes every video, and then the last one will be like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and well, we got a couple minutes of pre-banter, which I probably won't do this time. We'll see.
Did you put the pre-banter in this one?
No, I did. The first one, yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty funny, actually.
I figured since it was exclusive content, we should give that kind of behind the scenes.
If the pre-banter stuff is good, just leave it in.